Well, hello to all you wisdom walkers out there. This is Judge Maria and Saroma coming to you with astrology for self-mastery for the month of June, but just the first part, June 1st to the 14th. It's such a pleasure to be here with you. I think some of you know that, watch me and know me over the years, but I am a Mets fan. And today the Mets had a game where they got 13 runs. And I think there were like 4 home runs as part of that. And it was just delicious. So I'm feeling very, very happy. Mets are, they're my babies. Been watching them since I was a teenager. And, we've always been the underdogs. And that's what I love about them, too, because, there's times when they ain't doing nothing. They just not be doing anything. But over the last couple of years, with some changes in their front office, things are heating up. And so, it was really, really fun to watch. Yeah, watch my babies. So anyway, I have lots of stuff to share with you tonight about this astrology for the beginning of June. So I want you to sit, lay back, get comfortable, because I'm going to take you on a journey through the galaxy around these, through the solar system. We ain't doing galaxy yet. That will come. But we're going to go through the solar system and look at these planetary and cosmic aspects that are really impacting our lives and also guiding us, giving us really, really repetitive, relentlessly repetitive information about the times that we are in. And so I want to start off sharing with you the theme for this month as put down by Lena Stevens, who I love, from the Power Path. And it is just, to me, it just captures what we're being asked to do at this time in human history. So here we go. The theme for June is courage. Lena Stevens, the Power Path. It takes courage to try something new, to change a familiar pattern, to speak your truth, to heal, to take a risk or take action where the outcome is unknown. It takes courage to open your heart, to see everything as spirit, to be neutral and not judge, to be flexible. It takes courage to say no and to say yes, to ask for help, to be yourself, to be disciplined. It takes courage to face an uncharted future. Yeah. It takes courage to let go of the past, to release attachments to how things should be or should have been. It takes courage to stay present, to stay out of fear, to dissolve old structures of security and make way for something new. It takes courage to trust, to do what you know is right for you and for others. Isn't that amazing? And isn't that just so right on? Yeah, this is like what we are up for and what we're being asked to do at this point in human history right now. And that's next aspect I want to share with you. I will do every time now that I do an astrology report, because this is really, again, this incredibly powerful aspect that is binding us and helping us with this move forward. And this is the Saturn almost conjuncting Neptune and Aries, an aspect we will continue to feel for the rest of the year. Now, although it won't be perfect conjunction until February of 2026, this aspect is already strongly felt. The Saturn-Neptune balsamic phase conjunction in Aries is accelerating the dissolution of structures and systems that no longer hold significance, that no longer have a purpose. This alignment emphasizes the need to close cycles, leave the past behind, and learn to navigate transitions and uncertainty with faith as we prepare to enter the next chapter of our lives. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Really big. And again, like I said, the universe is just sending us consistently message after message after message of what it is that is going on and what we can be focusing on. Absolutely. I want to do just some quick shout outs to my regular watchers and listeners out there who are, steadfast and so supportive to me. The first one is Miss Christine in Santa Monica. Thank you for always checking in. The other is to Miss Caroline and her daughter Laurie in Los Angeles. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, Miss Carmen Ray I think she's in Atlanta right now. She's always checking in. And also Michael DeMond, who is in Phoenix. And also my fire brother, John, who is in Madison, Wisconsin, and various and sundry others. How can I forget family members? So my great nephew, Mr. Adrian, and now his sister is joining, and her name is Tristan. I just want to let you all know, thank you so much for your support, because it really, really helps me put in and out the energy it takes to do this twice a month. So I'm so grateful for your presence. Now, moving right along, we are currently in Gemini season. So happy birthday to all those Geminis out there, especially my dear friend Denise. And Geminis, you're so important. You bring those new ideas, you bring that understanding. And we are just so, so, so very grateful. So, so very grateful for you. So thank you, Geminis. Yeah. So let's start off with Sunday the 1st, which is kind of a little bit of an overlooked aspect, but I'm making a big deal of it because it involves Chiron. And anytime Chiron is involved in something, I think, pay attention. And this is a conjunction between Venus and Jupiter and Chiron in the sign of Aries. And the Venus conjunct Chiron comes with the opportunity to embrace our vulnerability and heal our heart. Venus is the planet of love, relationships, and personal values. Venus is what is important to you. Chiron is the wounded healer and shows us where we feel broken and inadequate. And these feelings of shame, brokenness, and inadequacy will eventually trigger our desire to find out what's really wrong and ultimately heal. And I also want to correct myself. Jupiter isn't involved in this conjunction. I used a previous slide and forgot to take him out of there. This is between Venus and Chiron, and it's just really powerful. So here's some more info for you. The Venus-Chiron conjunction in Aries, healing the wound, healing the heart. What should we do when Chiron is conjunct Venus, the planet of love? Mother Teresa said it best. I have found this paradox that if you love until it hurts, there can be no more hurt, only more love. Ashe. Yeah, it's something to that the woman who wrote the book, Ganji G, her name is, it's called The Diamond in Your Pocket. And she writes that you have to let your heart break open completely in order to heal and get to more love. And so this is from Astro Butterfly, who says we are wired to avoid pain and suffering. We stop at until it hurts. Instead of delving into the pain, instead of feeling it, embracing it, opening our heart to it, we shut it down. At a deeper level, we know that love is the answer, yet we stop just when we are about to break through the fear. We get ourselves busy so we don't have to think about it. We jump from one relationship to another. We take our credit card and go shopping. We overeat or overdrink, and we do anything to avoid the pain. Yes, and I know we all know this very well. But we can do a choosing of love over fear. Have you ever wondered what makes you stop just before you open your heart to love? What makes you so afraid of suffering? We are afraid that we will love we are afraid that what we love will be taken away from us. And I'll repeat that. We are afraid that what we love will be taken away from us. We are in a continuous state of limbo, too afraid to lose what we have and too afraid to get in touch with our hearts. Venus conjunct Chiron will help you get in touch with your heart. Chiron is not a magic pill to heal what's broken, but it will show you how to love so you can break through that fear and start loving for real. Wow, wow. This is so important. And it's very fascinating to me that it comes at the beginning of the month, because you're going to see when we get this aspect with Jupiter going into Cancer. Oh my God. Yeah, it's all about expanding our ability to be in our emotional intelligence. And so interesting that this month starts off with this incredibly powerful conjunction between Venus and Chiron, the wounded healer. Absolutely. So let me jump now to June the 4th, this past Wednesday. And we had Venus in Aries sextiling Jupiter in Gemini. And this was a lucky day, as the aspect brings plenty of good fortune. Use this energy for creative ideas, falling in love, and having fun. May we be blessed. And for those of us here in the Northern Hemisphere, with the temperatures getting warmer as we're in this final part of spring, I hope everyone did have a joyful day and a happy day. Now, on Thursday, June the 5th, we get Mercury in Gemini sextiling Mars in Leo. Another fun-loving influence, making this a great day or two to relax and unwind. There can be less stress and more harmony. This vibrant aspect gives us all a major boost of energy, making us feel social, charming, and ready to make the right connections. By consciously tuning in to positive Gemini energy, we learn through others simply by being curious. Yeah. So again, another powerful conjunction and aspect. And, this was important that these aspects of flow were coming in, because when we hit June the 9th, oh yeah, it's going to be something else. Yeah. So hopefully you were able to, if you did have some challenges on this day, move, even if it was for a nanosecond, just move into the uplifting energy of this beautiful sextile. I hope you were able to do that. Now, also on this day, again, another good flow thing, when Venus enters Taurus. Yes, this is a much welcomed homecoming for Taurus, as the pleasure planet enters Taurus, one of the two signs it rules. From now to July 4th, relationships are cosmically supported to become steady and sensual, as we focus on making both love and money without being overly possessive of either. Isn't that a fabulous aspiration? Yes. We all know that when Venus is happy, everyone is happy. Amid turbulent transits that we've been through, Venus in Taurus is that sweet reminder that everything will be all right. And here's some deeper information, some more to know about this transit. Venus is coming home to one of its ruling signs, as a planet of love is welcomed in the sensual and luxurious sign of Taurus. Venus in Taurus encourages us to slow down and savor the simple pleasures of life. As native Taurus Dave Gahan says, words are very unnecessary. We're wired to believe that to be happy, Venus, we have to have more, do more, get busy, or fill up the empty spaces. But Venus, the planet of happiness and contentment, doesn't need any of these. Venus in Taurus is a reminder that happiness is not about doing, but about being. Simply sink into the present moment and enjoy the silence. And this again was from Astro Butterfly. And then this is a great transit for all things Venus: beauty, pleasure, feeling good in our bodies, and harmonious social connections. However, this is not your usual Venus in Taurus, at least not a few weeks from now. Before leaving the sign, Venus will meet Uranus for a final surprising revelation. Expect a twist in relationships, finances, or values that pushes you to embrace something more authentic and aligned with your higher purpose. I love this. I love this message, because what she's saying here is, again, a part of the reason we can get to a plateau or get to a space of and joy is because the universe wants to grow and stretch us. So basically what she's saying is, toward the end of this, as we get closer to July 4th, just remember that, that you're being stretched and grown. So don't fight it, welcome it, because more is coming. That is for sure. That is for sure. So now let's jump to today, June the 8th. And we have more positive aspect. This first one is a conjunction between Mercury and Jupiter in Gemini. And Jupiter's about to leave Gemini. So this is really cool. And so is Mercury. So Mercury is domicile at home in Gemini, and Jupiter amplifies the message with confidence and clarity. This is a great day for communication, making decisions, launching content, or receiving meaningful insights. It's a great day for the Mets to win a game. No more confusion, no more second guessing. This is a great green light moment for whatever you've been planning or waiting to put into motion. Wow. Again, this is an energy that is encouraging us to be confident and clear, to choose that about what it is we have been maybe holding inside. And how that doubt likes to bite you, especially right before you wake up in the morning or right before you go to sleep. And what this is saying, that today especially, we have this energy that's going to help us move through that. With Gemini and involved with Jupiter, your words, which are coming from what? Yeah, your thoughts, have power. And so if you are espousing negativity, if you are transferring negativity through your words at others, and especially if you're doing it at yourself, this has power. It's going to keep you bound in that, in that hole. So I advise you, especially today and going forward, listen to what it is that you're saying about yourself and thinking about yourself. And most importantly, feeling about yourself. And if it's negative or heavy or judgmental or self-critical, please shift that up. Even if you don't mean it at the time, find a way to lie to yourself and say, I'm wonderful. I am enough. There's nothing wrong. I'm exactly where I need to be, doing exactly what I want to do. And I am happy. Do that as a mantra even, because I'm telling you, whatever you're putting out is going to get amplified. Yeah. So even though you may be in a little bit of a rut, just really saying the positive, okay, what you're dreaming about, it will help to bring that to you. Ashe. Yes. Now, also about this conjunction on June 8th, because like I said, it's in the end, the Jupiter's at the 29th degree of Gemini. This is a powerful culmination point just before both Mercury and Jupiter leave Gemini, a moment of realization, announcement, or decision, with the conjunction happening at the anaretic degree, meaning the last degree. The message is loud and clear. Something important is being wrapped up, signed off, or brought into full awareness. Please, my darlings, let yourself have that. Let yourself have the positivity to have the love. Ashe. Now, also on this day, we get Mercury leaving Gemini and going into Cancer. Soon after conjuncting Jupiter, Mercury slips into Cancer. Mercury articulates what we feel, not just what we think, helping us express emotions, connect more deeply with others, and communicate from the heart. As we prepare for the glow of summer, Mercury's entry into the sentimental water sign encourages us to reflect on the past. And I want to stop there and say, if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, it's not the glow of summer, but it is the changing winds of autumn. But the message is the same. You know, we're going into the sentimental water sign, encouraging us to reflect on the past. It's a wonderful time to think of others while also protecting your own peace of mind. Embrace the nostalgia and find balance in your thoughts. Yeah, very, very powerful. Very powerful. So, big drum roll. Big drum roll. This is a day to remember, because it is requiring us to navigate through three square energies, which we haven't had squares. Like in May, we didn't have a lot. I think we had just one square and no oppositions in May. Okay. So now here we are in June, and in the beginning, in one day, 1, 2, 3 squares. Yes, that is a tight energy. And so, as you'll see in the messages, it's really about keep your mouth shut and be still. Because also on this day, we have something that astrologers have been dreaming about for a while. So here we go. Here we go with Monday, June the 9th. Now, as an opening, which is also supportive, we get Pallas entering into Aquarius. Now, Pallas asteroid, named for the Greek warrior goddess Pallas Athena, inspires all women to channel their life-giving Venus energy through their intellect as well as their bodies. During her transit through Aquarius, this is an excellent opportunity to experiment with information from the future while making plans that break with tradition and create a whole new game with you as the winning competitor. And this was from Nadia Gilchrist, astrologer. So this is the background. What's happening is that Pallas is going retrograde in Aquarius. And so in astrology, Pallas, named after the Greek goddess Pallas Athena, represents our independent spirit. This asteroid influences how we use our knowledge, whether for positive or negative purposes, and encourages artistic expression and freedom. Over the next several weeks, focus on the greater good as Pallas encourages us to harness emotional intelligence and maintain our personal power. Avoid getting swept away by your emotions and stay attuned to the needs of others. Always, always good advice there. Absolutely. I think I have to take some water. My voice is getting dry. This energy is so powerful, because now let's go through the squares. The first one, Mercury in Cancer and Saturn in Aries. It's a big day for misunderstandings, as blunt and thoughtless words can easily hurt feelings. Be careful with what you say. You might dig yourself a hole that's hard to get out of. And again, this is encouraging us not to be in reaction, not to take the low road of the lower timeline. Stay in that higher timeline. Absolutely. Next, we get Venus in Taurus squaring Pluto in Aquarius, where it's retrograde right now. It's easy to butt heads today, as this stubborn aspect can lead to power struggles in our relationships. Recognize when it's time to leave toxic relationships behind and when it's worth staying to work things out. but you really have to discern, folks. You really have to know the difference. And I'm telling you, the only way you really can know that is you got to go to God. Like, God, is this really in alignment with my higher purpose? Am I supposed to stay because you have some learning for me to get, or do I need to get out ASAP? So remember that. Turn to God. Turn to God. Use this day for that, to learn what is right for you. And then the third square is Mercury in Cancer, squaring Neptune in Aries. Today is not ideal for business deals, as information can easily become distorted during this confusing aspect. It's also a challenging time for deep discussions with family or friends, which could lead to sticky situations. Try to postpone any social plans until next week. The squares, and that the fact that there's 3 of them with these planets that, are our personal planets, that involve our personal planets, it's really, really, really important to heed this, okay? Do not be in reaction tomorrow, especially with family members or intimate partners. Like, this is not the time to go into battle or to think you're going to just have a conversation. Leave alone, because there's more energy that's going to come in that's going to be a support to you if you're needing to, straighten something out, be heard, set your boundary, all of that. There's an energy coming in on this day that will support you to do that. But Monday's not the day to do it. Give yourself a moment. It's like the universe, right, is operating on a time frame that is not human. Okay. So even when we think it may be time for something to happen, it may not be right, because the universe knows best. So these messages are coming from the cosmos to tell you, take a chill pill. Just hold it up. Say no, or this is not going to work for me today. It's okay. It's okay. Avoid it. Avoid confrontation. You will be so grateful that you did. And now here is the energy that is going to come and be of great help to all of us. This is Jupiter entering Cancer. Oh! And Jupiter stays in a sign for about a year. And so we'll have it until June of 2026. The rest of the year brings the potential for spiritual enlightenment as the planet of luck and understanding moves into this caring and intuitive water sign. This transit encourages us to dive deep into our feelings, as trusting our instincts can lead to great success. Yes, this is about us not playing victim or taking on somebody's stuff, taking on somebody's pain. This is about focus on yourself. Focus on yourself, because this energy, this expansive energy is coming in to help you grow both your emotional intelligence and your spiritual intelligence. Yeah. So here's some more. What does Jupiter in Cancer mean? Jupiter's transit through Cancer offers you a year of healing, nurturing, and emotional expansion. By prioritizing self-care, cultivating meaningful relationships, and aligning with your inner truth, you can create a foundation of security and abundance that supports long-term growth. This is a time to embrace compassion, connect deeply, and expand your heart and soul. Jupiter is a planet of expansion, abundance, and wisdom. Cancer, ruled by the moon, governs home, family, and intuition. Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, meaning its energy is particularly strong and positive in this sign. It encourages us to align our emotional well-being with our goals, blending empathy and ambition. I love that, empathy and ambition. During this transit, we are invited to grow not only materially, but also spiritually through connection compassion, and care. Wow, wow, wow. So here are some of the challenges of Jupiter in Cancer. While this transit is generally positive, Jupiter's expansion energy in Cancer can sometimes lead to overextending ourselves emotionally or financially. Be mindful of setting healthy boundaries and balancing your desire to nurture others with your own self-care. There may be also a tendency to cling to the past or become overly attached to comfort zones. Yeah. Although Jupiter in Cancer is a welcome shift for all of us, the not so good news is that as soon as it enters Cancer, Jupiter forms a square to Saturn, and shortly after with Neptune, which both recently moved into Aries. These squares can bring some growing pains, especially around balancing structure, which Saturn represents, dreams, which Neptune represents, and expansion, which is Jupiter. But this initial tension sets the stage for deeper growth. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And I want to share with you now what Astro Butterfly says to bring it all home, as she most aptly does and eloquently does. And I just love, love, love this. So here we go. What Jupiter in Cancer teaches. Jupiter in Cancer reminds us of the benevolence of the universe, that the world is actually a good and safe place to be in. Something along the lines of Matthew's quote, "Whoever has will be given more, and they will have an abundance." This idea implies two important things. One, we all have. We are not starting from nothing. Jupiter in Cancer reminds us of the talents and resources we already hold, internal or external. Two, what we have can be further expanded. Jupiter in Cancer emphasizes that real growth starts from what already exists. We can't amplify what we don't have, but when we focus on what we do have, even if small, it can grow into something much greater. And this is from her blog on her website, and I invite you to read the entire message, and I've got one more part of it. What Jupiter in Cancer teaches. Jupiter in Cancer teaches us that recognizing, being grateful for, and capitalizing on our own resources is the key to unlocking greater abundance. And I want to stop here for a minute because I have another seeker I work with, and she wanted to increase her abundance, but she was thinking she had to attach herself to something outside of herself, some external method or a process in order for that to happen. And what I have been guiding her to is to realize that your abundance is based on what you're believing about yourself. There's no magic pill, there's no magic remedy. This is really about getting rid of what's blocking you to believe in your worthiness, in your ability to believe that you are enough and you can have what you need to sustain yourself and be fulfilled. But if you are not able to believe that, of course, you're not going to experience it. So what she's saying here is, again, being grateful for and capitalizing on our own resources is the key to unlocking greater abundance. Regardless of your natal Jupiter sign, in the year ahead, we will be under the influence of Jupiter in Cancer's mantra, which says, nurture what matters and it will multiply. I'll say that again. Nurture what matters and it will multiply. Wow, such wisdom, such truth. This is it, folks. This is it. And we have a whole year to be supported in this. Again, this message is from Astro Butterfly, and I strongly encourage you to read the entire message on her website, www.astrobutterfly.com. go to the blog, and it'll be the most recent one that you'll see, where she's talking about Jupiter in Cancer through June 2026. Wow. Wow. I just love this. I just love that we're getting this sign. You know, the world has been really going through a lot of fierce stuff since 2024. I mean, before that, but of course, you know, as things have shifted politically, philosophically, I'll say, there's been a lot of fear, of course, and a lot of things have shifted. There's been a lot of wrongly undoing that has been going on. And so, you know, the universe is about balance, folks, okay? It really is about balance. And it's also about a cycle of death and rebirth, meaning things are always moving, always something's being born, something's dying, and things are expanding, always, always, always. This is a cosmic truth. So you can't have all that fear and the universe not give you a balance. And that's what this Jupiter in Cancer and some of the other aspects like Saturn and Neptune and Aries are really about. Yeah, this is a cosmic support that we are being given so that we can navigate our way out of the dark side and back into the light and back into really experiencing and co-creating this. This is the time that we are in. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, there's Magella saying, hey, lovely, sending you so much love. Thank you, my darling. She's amazing. Absolutely amazing human being. And so I just had to really take a moment to emphasize that point for you all, okay? The universe is about balance, and we are being sent Jupiter in Cancer of all signs to open up our hearts, to expand our spiritual intelligence, and to really help us not lose faith that we're going to have our happy endings. Absolutely. Absolutely. So now, after all that on the 9th, we come to the 11th, where we get our full moon in Sagittarius. And this is a strawberry moon, and there's a low-hanging fruit aspect to it. This lunation is called the strawberry moon in First Peoples tradition, and the spiritual meaning is related to gathering our sweet rewards. Yes, meaning we made it through a winter, we made it through most of the spring, and now the strawberries are around and we can get something sweet. Yeah, that's a wonderful validation. Here's a great quote I like from James Burgess, another astrologer, who says, "We get whatever we merit. Our worthiness is always rewarded, and the rewards are always apt and fair. If we have the good fortune to see a bluebird at the threshold of our place of dwelling, it is because we deserve it. This wisdom is the foundation of all wisdom. We get what we deserve." Folks, remember that. Remember that. This 2025 strawberry moon has a notable feature that makes it stand out. It will be the lowest full moon visible in the Northern Hemisphere since 2006. This is due to a phenomenon called a major lunar standstill, which occurs every 18.6 years and causes the moon's apparent position to shift dramatically. The lowest full moon of the year north of the equator, and of course in the southern hemisphere it'll be the highest, the closest full moon, one of the furthest from the sun. This final full moon of spring can best be seen on Tuesday, June 10th in the evening when it rises during dusk. Yeah. And I have a beautiful picture someone sent me of the moon they took last night that I wish I could share. And I might find a way to share it when I do the next rollout of the astrology for you. But let me break down some more of the messages from this full moon in Sagittarius. Astro Butterfly says this is a bold and adventurous full moon, which is trine Mars in Leo and Chiron in Aries. We're looking at a beautiful grand fire trine that inspires us to heal our spirit. And I'll give you some information about what a grand fire trine means. This is a kind of full moon that says, be unapologetically yourself. There's tremendous power in letting go of the pressure to perform, to please, or to fit into roles that were never truly ours. When we stop trying to be someone else or meet expectations that aren't aligned with who we are, something shifts. In this Sagittarius light, the truth will truly set us free. And what a good feeling that is. Amen. Ashe. Now, this event brings the spotlight on our search for truth and purpose. The full moon in Sagittarius invites us to rise above everyday distractions, cut the noise, and clear the mental clutter to reconnect with our faith and with a sense of direction that comes from a deep inner knowing. Yes. During this time, we have an opportunity to see in what ways we may unconsciously keep ourselves small and stuck, or hold ourselves back from growing in new directions. We are being challenged to notice where we may be excessively attached to our beliefs and assumptions. This full moon emphasizes the dangers of identifying with ideologies and clinging to fixed ways of thinking and seeing the world. Yeah, really, really powerful. So here's about the aspects of this full moon. The trine to Chiron invites us to embrace vulnerability and offers us opportunities to transform old wounds into wisdom. Chiron's activation supports our ability to make peace with our pain and acknowledge the lessons it is meant to teach us. So important. Meanwhile, Mars in Leo motivates us to take decisive action, make bold decisions, and walk away from what no longer serves us. This energy inspires us to follow the path that calls us with determination and reminds us that growth takes courage. Remember Lena Stevens at the beginning of this? Yes. Growth takes courage and a willingness to face the truth. I have to get some water. This is just powerful. This is powerful. And you can see how, again, like I said, it is just consistently repetitive, the messages that they're giving us about being your power. Focus on yourself. You know, trust your inner knowing. Know that you came full. Stop giving your power away to what other people think is right for you. Know what is right for you. Get your clarity. You know, it's over and over and over again. Be yourself. Be yourself. Be authentic. You know, it is really, really wonderful and amazing how consistent this is. So let me share with you about the grand trine. It's a grand fire trine, and fire is what the astrological places in the astrology wheel are that come together at a specific time. And so Sagittarius is a fire sign, Aries is a fire sign, Leo is a fire sign. And right now you have Sagittarius, the moon in Sagittarius, you have Chiron in Aries, and you have Mars in Leo coming together around this full moon. So those two planetoids, planet and one is a asteroid, are in this alignment, this trine with the full moon. So that's what that means. But here's information about what a grand trine is with the Sagittarius full moon, what it means. The full moon in Sagittarius forms a grand trine with Mars in the late degrees of Leo and Chiron in the late degrees of Aries. Both Chiron and Mars are sextile with the sun in Gemini. This is a very dynamic aspect pattern that, together with the activation of the fire element, adds more momentum and dynamism to this lunation. While grand trines reflect ease, flow, and natural talent, They can also have a lazy or complacent quality because no real effort is required from us to get things. The sextiles to the sun and the resulting kite pattern help us channel the energy of the grand trine intentionally and in a clear direction. Yeah. And so that means that, again, this full moon is bringing an energy to support all of the good information about us moving forward positively and in our strength as we go through, this very chaotic and at times extremely painful time that we're in. Yeah. Really cool. Now, if all of that wasn't enough for aspects, here's another aspect that is in flow on this day of the full moon. And this is Mercury in Cancer sextiling Venus in Taurus. This calming energy invites us to relax and take it easy today. Spend quality time with loved ones and strengthen your relationships. Express how much you care. Isn't that just beautiful? I just love that aspect. I think that's just exactly what we should be doing on Wednesday. Yeah. And now I come to the final aspect of this first half of June. On Saturday, the 14th, we have Venus going direct, going direct in Scorpio. But let me tell you first about Vesta and also what it being in Scorpio has meant. It went in January. Vesta is the brightest and largest asteroid in the sky and is named for the Vestal virgins in ancient Rome who were keepers of the sacred flame. If a Vestal chosen at age 6 allowed the flame to go out, she was beaten. Vestals took a vow of chastity for 30 years, at the end of which they were set free and then answered to no man. This gave them a unique status in Roman times and why the term virgin was often used to describe a woman who belonged to herself. Interesting history there, right? And so 2025 starts on an empowering note with Vesta, which represents our fire within that empowers us to achieve our sacred contracts with home and family. For the next several weeks, this transit brings powerful Phoenix energy, helping us rise from the ashes of last year and find the courage and strength to take control of our destinies. So here's the aspect of Vesta when she has been retrograde and is now going direct in Scorpio. Vesta represents our fire within as it relates to our sacred contracts with home and family. After being retrograde since March and giving us opportunities to heal old family wounds, she now goes forward. We can now more easily let go of being victim to family and intimate partners, sit with our emotions, and find ways to rebuild trust and open up to those we love. And Vesta will remain in Scorpio until September of this year, September the 13th. Now, remember, Jupiter in Cancer, interesting, right? Expanding this emotional intelligence and stuff. Yeah. So for those of you out there, with family rifts, or family betrayal, whatever family dysfunction and mess. Again, the universe is sending energy for you to tap into if you have chosen to forgive, to have compassion, and to really want to focus on what is really most important, which is the love. Now, this isn't saying put yourself around people who really aren't in the right mind, don't have the capacity and the consciousness to not be transferring their pain onto you. This is about where you see the opportunity for healing, growth, and evolution. Know that it is possible, and the universe wants you to win. It wants you to really get there. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So, my dears, shout out for my book, still available. Wow, almost an hour to get through that, but it was really worth it because these times are phenomenal. What we are, navigating through is so important, especially for the generations coming after us. And so I hope that this astrology litany report forecast that I've shared with you is helpful. Again, I will leave in the description box below this video the timestamps, the chapters, so you can get to the information, to the dates or a particular aspect easy. I will also, of course, put in my references. Who are the astrologers and the articles that I'm using to share this information. I also use moon omens, which I'm really finding very nice. I'm liking them too, as well as, of course, Astro Butterfly. So I wish you all wonderful, wonderful moving forward, opening up your heart and soul, receiving clarity, confidence, certainty, revelations about the truth of who you are, and to really receive the courage to do all those things that Lena Stevens said in the front. And of course, I'll put that in the timestamp, but to receive that courage so that you can really experience your fulfillment in life, what it is you deserve, to feel the love, to be the love, to have the love, and also to be able to be of service to others in a loving, healthy, and functional way. Yes. Thank you for tuning in. Again, it's my great pleasure. I look forward to getting back to you probably this week with the astrology for the rest of the month, because there's a lot more kind of important things that are coming up, and I want to make sure you don't miss them. So be well, be safe, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye now.